Hello, everybody. Sorry for all the delays in our marathon and all the other issues. We've spoken up of those, though. No sense in beating a dead horse and continuing a negative thing. Let's get back to some positive and beat up some foot soldiers.
Heck yeah.
Got L Rock joining me here after his great TMNT arcade run.
Thank you for having me. This game is, even though I don't run this game, this was one of the only NES games I owned growing up, so it's nostalgic as heck for me, and I love watching people who are really good at it run it, especially. Such as yourself.
Aw, thank you.
So let's see.
Yeah, before the run starts, there's nothing too crazy I can think of. Major thing I can think of pointing out is that we are running on the Japanese version. Main reasons for that are the Japanese version has less enemies overall. Waves of enemies that would have 5 mobs in in the NES original only have 3 in this version. Leads to a faster run, and this is less pertinent to a speed run, but the scoring system's completely different. It ends up with the functional aspect of it is by the end of the run you end up with 1 extra life compared to the NES game. Just because the NES game you get 1 point per enemy kill, and then your extra lives come at 200 point intervals.
Sorry to interrupt, did I miss the start of the timer?
No, we're just explaining the run, so no, there's no start time yet.
I'll count you down.
Okay, I wanted to make sure. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're fine.
All good. Also, don't forget the fact that at least one attack in your arsenal does do more damage in JP. The dive kick is significantly stronger here than it is in US. I think it does double the damage that it does on US. Maybe not quite that much, but it's close. Yeah, it makes some boss fights quite a bit faster, like especially Tora. Like the Tora fight is just so much faster on JP than it is on US.
It does pretty much equivalent damage to a special attack in this version, whereas it does about half the damage of a special in the US version.
Yeah, which is ludicrous because while the special is still, I think, the superior attack just because of the amount of iframes that it grants you, the fact that the dive kick also gives you mobility on top of as much damage as it does is just disgusting. Like, you can be pretty much in any spot on the screen that you want to be at any given time just because of how degenerate it is.
But without any further ado, we'll go ahead and get this run started. I'm going to be picking Donatello for this run. Technically, Raphael's the optimal character, but Donnie for life. Sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. I mean, I'm a Leo main, so I should theoretically hate every Turtles beat 'em up because he sucks in pretty much all of them.
Accurate. Very accurate. And the timer will be starting in 2, 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so let's start here. I'm gonna get up here in the corner. Try to clear out these enemies as fast as possible. Where enemies are running in from is totally random. I mean, there's like set points that they can run in from, but one of those points they run in from is completely random. I'm hoping they all spawn optimally, like in the corner where I'm at, in the top right, but in practice it's never going to work out that way. Got bodied by one of the giant bouncy rolly balls. Don't know what to call them.
A wrestling fan, basically how I view most points of this game when you're encountering foot soldiers is you basically want to wait for someone to just walk on screen and then just close on them out of the ring like it's a battle royal, and that's about how this game pans out most of the time. As soon as an enemy's there, you just send him over the top rope and he's gone. Works out pretty well when you think of it that way.
That's the most accurate depiction of how this game works I've ever heard.
So, some advantages to explain about Donatello. Even though Raph has been retroactively determined to be the best character in the game, reason being is because Raph has additional pixels in front of his body when he uses a special attack. I don't know why they made that way, because his range is eternally supposed to be the worst, but they decided to give him a shot in the arm, and it was the first game, and not the only one, where Raph is busted. But from what Skavenger just explained to me right before this run started, Donatello actually has an advantage that Leo and Mike don't have. He has an extra range of pixels behind his body that he can utilize to attack enemies that may like try to cross him up or get on the other side. Good quick kill there on those Rodneys. I always hate doing that setup. Like, it's one of those things that I've just never been good at. Like, I can't get it consistently myself, but it's really, really cool to watch when it does work.
Here.
Yeah, Rocksteady, there's a really cool quick kill that actually is pixel perfect at the start of the fight. Actually, I think it's 2 pixel perfect.
Nice. Got him locked in.
Nice on the delay. Respect taking the second hit from bullets.
Yeah, just it's slower, but
nice
it's
fight.
safer. It just lets you set up the timing to hit him with the special to knock him into the loop.
Here comes General Shradar escaping with April.
Send that gray pizza back at that foot soldier. We don't want that gray moldy pizza. We want that.
Bye-bye.
That red cheesy pizza coming up at the end of the screen.
Donatello did not order a penicillin on his pizza, thank you. Stage 2, as I recall, is pretty straightforward. No Josie skip or anything weird and glitchy like that, but it's a beat 'em up stage. You also get a lot of room to work with, especially compared to the first stage where you pretty much just hiked your way up to the top. Nice. Love that dive kick setup. That was cute. Just like, got him.
Dynamite chuckers like to dance around and dodge you.
They're some of the worst enemies in the game, in my opinion. They're not too difficult because, I mean, the Dynamite honestly doesn't have, like, that great of a hitbox, but they're because they can zone you, they're going to naturally be very evasive. Love the dive kick clip to the top there. Big fan of that. Moving down. What you didn't see in arcade, you will have to work your way around some enemies down here, but as long as you can maintain good double kill pace, it's going to be working out pretty well. And as you can see, with him using the dive kick like that, you can see just how much more significant it is here than it would be for the US version. It's unfortunate about the wall splat. Anyway, with dive kicks, you can just hone right in, kill a guy on incoming, and now he's in position to kill another one. Like, you just get so much more fluid activity in this game. Sucks with that, the Pizza Hut, what's up?
Can I interest you in some illegal turtle racing, sir?
Absolutely, but where is it being advertised? Because those signs fell down. They were there. I don't know where they went, though.
First rule of illegal turtle racing. You
don't talk about illegal turtle racing.
Yeah.
You mean like we're doing right now? Okay, deal. Deal. Kill this guy here. Nice dive kick setup. Now, I'm not going to explain the Bebop quick kill because I'm really bad at it, so I hope you can get it.
I can recover it, hopefully.
Yeah, what you're supposed to be able to do is position yourself right at the tire at the bottom of that car, where the tire would be.
Oh my
and
god.
That's not good. Yeah, Bebop gets loose, it can actually be an issue. God, I forgot he can autocorrect his stupid charge. What a jerk. That might do it. Yeah, good positioning there. The distance here is huge. Like, if you are too far away, then it's just not going to hit him. And if you're too close, he gets to retaliate. When he counters with an uppercut, he only does it if you're a certain distance away from him or closer. So you want to be just outside the range where you can hit him, but he can't hit you. And he got it there on the last cycle, but the fastest possible, the optimal strat is to do so from the tire, which he did start with, but he got a little bit out of sync. And it happens, but it was still a good kill. Still deathless into the sewer. Gets full health refill. And he's fine. Sewer is a really cool stage. I love the music. This is actually very different from the arcade theme, and it's just really good. Very atmospheric.
Much like the arcade version, there's going to be 5 Mausers per wave here.
It's actually a little bit different on arcade. You get 4 in the first wave, and then something like 6 or 7 in the second. But for the third, you have to kill 5 before moving on, but there's 6 total. Here, it's a little bit more consistent in terms of the numbers, and I actually prefer it that way. Because the arcade just likes to do random things with numbers. And me being big on math, you can imagine how much I love that.
I really wish this version of the game had something like the Josie skip.
And the Baxter quick kill.
Oh man, yeah.
Quick kill's so good.
Waiting for that in the near future here.
Also, sword guys are so much easier here than they are in arcade. Arcade, like, those dudes have the fastest sidestep in the game, and they're not afraid to show you how fast it is.
I messed up.
Just get blitzed out.
So,
Nice
full
killing the
disclosure.
monster. No, not the gate!
Full
Anything with the
disclosure,
gate.
I am super rusty at this game. And I didn't
It
have
happens.
adequate time to practice because...
Much like any beat 'em up, the other thing to keep in mind with this game is that screen scrolling is very important, and that includes when you're moving, you need to know what position you're in at all times to not get trolled by obstacles like gates or incoming enemies. And sometimes it's to your advantage. If you know where an enemy is incoming, you can just spawn camp there and just kill him. But if there's a indestructible hitbox like a gate, what are you gonna do?
Alright,
Next
back.
one. Clothesline, clothesline, clothesline. I always love taking the hit from those knife guys and just not giving a crap about it. It's like, yeah, I can hit him back and it's gonna hurt more. I'm cool with that. As long as it doesn't knock you down. Baxter's
giving me a trolley pattern here.
yeah, he's not a very straightforward boss as it is. I tend to look at it as that any boss in a video game that has wings or that can fly is gonna probably be one of the worst fights in the game. Just because their movement is just so erratic, random or not.
Hey,
Good
what's up,
fight though.
Steve? West Point Steve is a amazing runner of this game. Much, much better than I am. I am so rusty.
Now we see, unlike in the arcade version, Baxter is now mutated into a fly, which is canon. But before that, we get to have an NES exclusive stage. So this is actually one of my favorite stages in the game. The music is so good. It's soothing, it's adrenalizing, like it's everything you want it to be. And the stage looks gorgeous. Like I didn't think they'd be able to utilize like a snow kind of environment for a game like this properly, and they nailed it.
You go for a tire ride, I go for snowplow ride.
Hang out with Homer for a little bit. Mr. Plow,
Nice.
that's my name. Oh yeah, this is another reason why dive kicks are big. Fighting snowmen with proper JP dive kicks is actually quite good. Like you can just demolish these guys in short order. They have a fairly easy pattern as is. You hit them with one special and then either another special or a dive kick, and then you just get to kill them right away because they lose all their snow and turn back into robots. You get a new enemy here that's exclusive to this stage with the ones that throw snowballs. They're really no different than guys that throw knives. But it's more on theme with the stage. Nice little kill there. The jump kick is such a troll. Like, the jump kick has so much invincibility once the foot is active. Pun intended.
No plow ride that time.
It looked like it hurt.
Solid. That was a good wave. That was a really good wave.
Ooh, yeah, that finale there was spicy.
Snowmen, please.
I forget, do snowmen have random spawn patterns? Like, there they both appear on the left. Is that consistent?
Nope.
Didn't think so.
Random, and ideally you want them to spawn from the same spot so you can group them together, but it doesn't always work.
The other part of fighting these guys that makes it feel like I'm cheating is the fact that when you knock all their snow off and they turn back into a robot, as long as you special right on their hitbox after they transform, you're still going to hit them, just because the active frames on your special attack are so long. They're so long. Oh, also a JP exclusive, you can turn special in mid-air, which is actually a really big deal for being able to take care of enemies on both sides. So here you have Tora, exclusive boss this game. Let's see if we can get a loop here. Yeah, positioning's a little specific here, but we can. Okay.
I dropped it. I had it.
So, while Scav's recovering this, I'm going to do my best to explain what happens here. This works in the US version as well, but the fight does take longer. What you want to do is you want to dive kick him once, and then that actually manipulates him to run underneath you and try to go to the other side to throw a boulder at you. As long as you can maintain the dive kick loop, he's not going to be able to get out of it. This also works well with any turtle. This is not like Dawn or Wrath exclusive or anything. There we go. Now we're cooking with gas.
That was ugly. That was so ugly.
First half was rough, but that was a good finish for sure, so GG on that.
Thank you. It's a really, really hard strat. Like, the timing on it is very precise. If you're off in any of the jumps or the dives, he just breaks free.
Yeah, and it never feels like it synchronizes correctly with me. I mean, I've put some runtime into this game, and the very first time I tried to do that strat, I failed miserably. Like, what Scav just did was still, like, way better than what I did, and so you could tell how bad it was. But the second time, without even putting any practice into it, I just completely nailed it. And I'm like, I don't know how I did that time correctly, but it didn't feel like it was my fault, but I'll take it. So yeah, it's definitely tough. Once you got the muscle memory for it, it's not bad, but it does take practice. That's for sure.
That's my main issue, is I just don't have the muscle memory right now. So Russ,
Nice kills there. Bit longer of a parking garage here than what you see on arcade. It's only got like a few waves there. Also with a different boss fight, but we'll get there. Barrels also significantly more useful here, I think. NES barrels are just amazing. Like, their active frames just last, it seems like, seconds. Nice. That was worth taking that hit. That was sauce.
Just gonna say I got hit by that car to put me in position to get hit around by these foot soldiers.
Yeah, gun guys are jerks because similar to what they do in arcade, what they can do sometimes is they maintain just enough distance to make sure they're going to be able to hit you and you can't hit them, and they're actually fairly intelligent about that. So it's just a matter of making sure that you know when they're going to approach you and you can react accordingly. I never understood what the difference was between these purple foot soldiers and others. I think they have like maybe a different melee attack. I think they have like a aim or something. Nice car dodge. Nice double kill there. That was a really, really good gun guy wave. And of course, dive kicks are huge against these clowns because it's the best offense you can use against gun dudes who can zone you pretty much forever. Nice triple kill there. Love it. Just shrugged off the jump kick and was like, get the hell out of my ring.
Pretty much, yeah. Oh, that star though. The shuriken got me. Alright,
The knockback too, that was rough. Alright, so for Baxter, this was actually a strat I discovered when I was a kid and didn't even really think about it when I started speedrunning because I thought there's gotta be a faster strat, right? And no, there's really not. Ideally what you want to do with Baxter is position him in the corner like what Scav has right now, and your special gives you just enough iframes to be able to space out your hits properly and be able to make sure you're hitting him while those energy shots completely with you because you have iframes. A really strong strat.
Sketchy, but we got it.
Yeah, it's another one that's similar to the tour fight. You have to practice, but once the muscle memory's there, it's not hard at all.
And this cutscene right here, I don't know if this holds true in the arcade version. Actually, I think you're the one who told me this, Alrock. The kiss goes to whatever player has the highest score.
Yes. Yes, in a multiplayer game, the kiss does go to the player that's currently in first place. But in a one-player game, who else is going to get the kiss, right? Onto the street, another banger of a track. Lots of waves of enemies in this stage. Oof, the car though. You ever notice the foot soldier sprites in the car are like significantly bigger than the ones you have to fight? Like those are like probably like 7-foot tall soldiers or something.
I messed up the Rodney. It's all good though. Good recovery.
Got two of them.
Got away. That's the hardest group of Rodneys in the game.
I believe that.
Once in the
There's so much. There's so much space for them to move that they're just bound to troll you at some point. Spear guys are the worst.
They really are.
Biggest difference here is these guys have infinite numbers of spears, whereas in arcade they only have the one. But I think for arcade their melee attack is just much stronger. The hitbox is huge. It works as an anti-air. It's pretty filthy. Also, taking bomb hits here is not that bad if you have to. But it's pretty easy to bait out. Just let them walk in on you. I also love how you can like kill the guys on the motorcycle, and the death sprite looks different than other foot soldiers too, which I always thought was neat. I thought you were gonna special that guy after he got past you.
Should've.
Feels. You're gonna be working his way to the end of the stage. Sledgehammer dudes. These guys are not that big of a threat. Their movement's a little bit better than other versions of this game, but their attack, while it does have a really large hitbox that can anti-air, it's honestly not as much of a threat because I think it only does one. That knife was suspect. But this should have been an anti-air. Nice. Yeah, that's not gonna do as much damage as it did what I was trying to do earlier. 7 damage tire is no joke.
Oh. Yeah.
That was a really close call there, but I respect it.
Yeah,
that was a fade? I disagree, video game.
Right?
That fade was some nonsense. On to our skateboard stage. Another different theme from what you experience in the port. Helicopters, from a completely different gameplay standpoint, do have both attacks here. They actually both have machine gun attack and bomb attack. Whereas in arcade, each one only has one. The pink ones fire the machine gun, and the blue ones can drop bombs. The cool thing is,
one at a time in this version. The arcade, they just flood the screen with helicopters.
yeah, which is why I tend to time scan that stage. There's just absolutely no reason to have to encounter helicopters. I mean, you can stay safe from machine gun guys by going to top pixel.
Please, helicopter.
Wow. Body 3 dive kicks in a row. What is happening here? The cool thing about the helicopters is you can basically what you can do is you can space out your hits enough to where you know you're going to always be able to hit them again. And it's just timing. As soon as you know that their hitbox frames are going to be active again, just take a swing and you're good. That'll close that out. Wait, is Mikey driving again? Because I'm not sure this is a good idea. Maybe Splinter's driving this time. That's why they were able to capture him.
I mean, going by the cartoon, doesn't Donnie usually drive the van?
Yeah, but that would require some serious acrobatics. That means he was able to get in the van, drive it over the edge, and be able to hop out through the back door all at once.
I mean, he is a ninja, dude.
He is. He's also a good multitasker. If there's anyone in the group I'd be willing to give props to for something like that, it's probably Leo, because he's a bit more stealthy and movement-based, but Don could definitely do it. Raph would just blow the door open.
Have you by chance ever seen the animated TMNT short that Jonan Vasquez, the creator of Invader Zim, did a few years back?
The one with Don versus Raph, yeah, hilarious.
Oh my! I seriously wish they would have just gave him a series, because that was hilarious.
It was great. It would be such a weird spin on TMNT though for like a casual audience. For fan service, 10 out of 10, 100%. But as far as like trying to attract a new audience, I feel like it's a little bit too quirky, but I would still watch it myself. I've been a Turtles fan for 30 plus years. I'll watch anything that features them at least once. That attack onto that laser was kind of suspect. I was like, is he gonna get hit by that? But apparently you have iframes in the wake up. That's cool. I learned something today. Nice dodge on that spear. I wasn't sure if that hit you or not. Here we have another NES exclusive enemy, these little robot walker duders. Pretty simple to kill. You just wait out their spawn until they're active, and then you just kill them with a special.
I'm gonna try to not hit these barrels here. If one gets hit, it's not a big deal, but they cause a pretty significant amount of lag in this version of the game. Or in this specific stage in this version as well.
Nice clotheslines. Good positioning for sure. So the drone segment for NES is a little bit different. What's going to happen is you have 2 waves of 4 instead of 1 wave of 7. And there's no real fast way to kill them. I mean, you can use special, but you can't kill them in 1 hit like you can on arcade. So you kind of just have to rely on grouping and good RNG, because these guys have really ridiculous movement.
That was an awful set of helicopter enemies, but whatever.
The second wave was looking really good until the hit. Those boomerangs. These are some of my least favorite enemies in the game, because you treat them like guys that can throw knives, except the projectile comes back, but they are a lot more open to getting attacked once the boomerang's out, but they can still come back and hit you. Just get all the activity. Get all these clotheslines from Hades, that. Laser cannons. I always find it weird that there's no foot soldier, like, manning the controls there like it is in arcade. Like, don't you want that to be? Here we have Granitor. For speed purposes, I actually prefer this fight to what you get on arcade. It's just a firefight, but it's actually a pretty easy one. Just get in the corner, keep doing special. You're going to get more hits on him than he will on you. You can do jumps to dodge the attack. Sometimes it's just faster to take the hit and just get your swing in. But I still like to respect what's going on here. Really, as long as you don't take a death, this fight's going to be fine. No matter what you do for the most part. Death just needs a lot of time to come back. But yeah, with proper timing, each special is going to get 2 hits on him. That's really good. Nice fight. Real strong stuff.
It's pretty consistent. You can hit him a set amount of times in the jump and you'll dodge his attack, but sometimes he just randomly attacks way early. Don't understand why.
NES exclusive stage. Don't love this one quite as much as the Snowfield. This stage is
Awful.
I feel like I'm not going to be the person to properly commentate on what this stage is willing to do to a speedrun. These enemies I like. These blue orangutan looking mofos, like these guys don't bother me at all. They're actually really fun to fight because you can catch them when they're trying to jump away from you with another special and then they just die. It takes them forever to despawn from the screen, but that's not time you're losing. That's just the game being the game. That was dirty. That jump kick out of that grab was ridiculous. So this, I believe, is referred to as the Ninja Castle. There are 3 enemies in this stage that not only are exclusive to this stage, but the rest of the game also doesn't really prepare you for them. You could argue that you could prepare for the orangutans by fighting the snowmen in the snow stage, but while they're about as easy, it's not really exactly the same. The big ones are the two enemies we're going to be seeing here before too long, while you get rid of these foot soldiers. The music's a banger for sure, but man, this stage is the eternal grind in the speedrun of this game. I've seen so many runs die in this stage for numerous reasons, up to and including the boss, but that's a whole different thing.
Once you get past all those other reasons, Shogun usually will just...
Yeah, you could have a perfect enemy run all the way up to Shogun, and then Shogun can just be Shogun. So here's the next enemy we see for this stage. These tigers are something. Their active frames for taking hits are quite suspect. They have a lot of invincibility. I really like that anti-air crossover. That's really good. Basically, you can time these out to where you can do specials on their hits as well, but it's a lot stricter of a time. You will do more damage, but the safer, more consistent strat is definitely to go for these normal Skav is over there. So if they hit you, it hurts. And if they fly off screen and try to come back at you, they're generally going to have the advantage there. Yeah, keeping them cornered like this is actually my preferred strat. It's not quite as fast, but it's definitely safer. Because if these tigers get loose, you're in for a world of pain. Because if they despawn, they spawn back on the screen on a random plane. Like, you have no idea where on the y-axis they're going to be, and that could lose even more time. And now the actual worst enemies of the stage, these scorpions. Oh god.
Yeah, they're trying. They are trying.
The scorpions are problematic. You can fight them pretty much any way that you feel is correct for the given situation, but they have two attacks that both have very advantageous hitboxes for themselves. Their tail whip is a really good anti-air, and the laser that fires from the tail can also just drain a lot of time because it's really good for zoning, and it can be a good anti-air with proper distance. Skav was actually able to have a really, really good fight against them there. If you lose as many runs to those guys, I feel as you do to Shogun. The scorpions are just, if they decide they want to act up, your run could just be over.
Sometimes they'll spawn on the same side and group together for you. Sometimes they'll spawn opposite corners and just get you in a pincer attack and juggle you.
Good stuff.
I did not need to pick up that pistol right now. Oh well.
Yeah, it's not going to be great, but it should be okay. Just play perfect, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
You'll be just fine. Perfect! So now we have Shogun. This is a very random fight. I don't recall how many patterns he has exactly that he can start the fight with. I want to say it's something like 7 different patterns. What he can do, and usually does do, is like right there, he's going to send his head off at you, and this is what turns the fight into just a complete slugfest, because that head has an active hitbox, and it is more than willing to troll you. He actually got a pretty good pattern at the start, because Shogun can detach his head as early as like the very first hit. Yo, nice, Deathless. I was worried that wasn't going to be a Deathless fight there, but ooh, good stuff.
Yeah, boring.
He was acting up. So anyway, like I said, I forget how many exact patterns he can give you. I want to say somewhere between 6 and 7, but the worst possible pattern you can get is when he detaches the head right away, because then you're just in for a fight where you just basically can't gain an advantage no matter what you do. But you can also get a pattern where he doesn't detach his head at all, and that's optimal. But it's also just completely up to the game. You have no control over it. It's just pure RNG. From there, it just becomes adaptation. That's why he can.
Is like the holy grail of this game.
Yeah, if someone can figure that out. I want to say there was like a bounty on that place at one point, but I could be wrong. It would be nice. And yet, it's still not my least favorite fight in the game.
Yeah?
It's technically, well, for random purposes and for speedrun purposes, it's absolutely the worst. But I don't mind fighting Shogun, like, just as like a boss. We'll get to the worst here soon. Unfortunate freeze there. Ice rays are not quite as easily manipulated here, but as long as you keep it to the right of the screen, you can make sure you get your jumps in. You should be good to go. Oof.
These elusive foot soldiers here.
That dude crossed under the special and stabbed you. That was filthy. What are you doing, video game? This song is so good. This might be my favorite track in any 8-bit TMNT game, and that's covering a lot of ground. There's not a single bad one. Robot walkers are pretty easy, just make sure you're consistent on. Their spawn points are completely random, but because they take so long to actually show up and make sure you can hit them, it's pretty easy to make sure you're going to be in place to kill them all.
The US version can get hairy if they spawn like in opposite corners of the screen because you don't have the jump kick as an option to deal with them.
That much is true, yeah. Like, for the US version, you're pretty much committed to only using specials.
Yeah,
In order to go as fast as possible.
Even with that, they're not too terrible. They're definitely a nice breather after dealing with a stage of
Scorpions and monkeys, oh my.
Exactly.
More ice rays. I will say this version of this stage is a lot more robust than arcade. Arcade version is just really fast. If you get to the bottom fairly quickly, as long as you're able to maintain enemy priority and make sure you're not goofing up and all that jazz. I love the head turn glitch. I think you press up to get that to happen, I want to say. Like you can just press up on top pixel and it'll just turn down his head.
You can really do it any edge of the screen. Like you can do it horizontally too if you want.
I disagree with that trade. That was gross.
And you can cross the floor with it. Alright, Rodney's. Be cooperative.
One-time game. Come on, dealer.
I'll take that. That's fine.
I actually do quite enjoy the Rodney manip strats for NES. I mean, the arcade ones are cool, but like, man, dive kick is just so hard to properly utilize in arcade that I think just getting it here is significantly better. And plus, you only have to fight 3 at a time at most, whereas you might have to fight 5 at a time in arcade. Just killing the hammer bros there. I believe this is the last wave of enemies before our boss rush.
Final purple foot soldier wave.
Yeah, I actually love this segment. It's probably my favorite segment of the stage, just because like it's all basic enemies. You just get to clean house. Like at that point, it's just like I'm just venting frustration from whatever happened in Ninja Castle here. Trag is a very similar fight to Granitor, although this is actually one fight where I prefer the jump strat. Trag's hits are a little bit more consistent than what Granitor can get, I believe, and I think they may also do more damage, but I could be wrong about that. Unfortunately, taking that there, but that's not going to hurt the run. Similarly to the Granitor, when you do a special, you're supposed to get 2 hits right away, and that's pretty consistent there. Outside of the death, that was a great fight. Good stuff there. And that's pretty much what you're going to see out of every single track fight there. But you're not going to see much different across any number of runs.
We are going to do the kneecap poke of doom against Krang that we've seen Alrock do in the previous run.
I hate this fight so much. This is the only fight I hate more than Shogun. Krang, similar to the Stone Warriors, is a pure firefight, but his attacks are significantly better than Stone Warriors. Like that kick is just, I think that's a frame 1 attack, and you just get, it's just so easy to get bodied by it. I don't think I've ever seen a Krang fight without a death, for example. Because this is really the only good strat you can use to go fast on him, but being able to do it while not taking damage is basically just like tossing a coin into the well. Like, it's not going to happen.
That's what Krang fights can happen, they're just super rare.
I generally anticipate them not happening. I certainly believe it, but yeah, it's gross. Oh, my elbows! Good fight, though. Death is expected, but you managed to get a lot of damage in on your round, so the DPS was incredibly good. And on to Shredder. I actually am a big fan of this fight. It's actually a really cool manipulated fight. For those that don't know, after the 2 Shredders spawn, the one that's or instant laser? I don't think I've ever seen that. So anyway, the Shredder that has slower walk speed is the one that's real. What you're hoping for is to be able to get the real one in the corner so you can keep dive kick looping him here. This is also another fight that's faster on JP, similar to Tora, because of the fact that jump kick is just so abusable here. What we're waiting for is the fake one to go back into laser. There we go. So as long as you're on that pixel range where you see the line on the right side of the screen on the floor, that's the visual cue you want to be able to fight Shredder here. You parallel yourself to that, put the real Shredder in the corner, keep going for these dive kick loops, and the fake one is just going to be all the way over on the right side trying to hit you with his laser, and the hitbox just never comes into contact with it. You can just jump dive kick into a harsh intent. On the US version, this strat still works, it just takes longer because dive kick doesn't work as well, and doing special here is not advised. If you do special to play the dive kick here, even though it does do more damage, you're just gonna get swatted out of it. So best to stick with dive kick. Mirror
Alright,
should be
lift off.
pretty clean. Yep, there goes the helmet.
Time will be when Dom stops moving. Now. And that's
GG.
the run. Yeah, 3150. That's oh, stream delay. So yeah, it's not the greatest time, but it could be worse.
I think any sub 35 in this game in a marathon is really good, personally. Good stuff, though. I always enjoy watching high-level gameplay of this game. It's so cool. Like, it's very much a nostalgia game for me because, you know, I started with the arcade version, but then I got to play it on my NES at home, and I was just like, this is incredible. Like, can I do this all the time? This is great. But, yeah, I love this game. Even though it has a lot of differences from the version I was previously used to, this game is just super duper good.
Yeah,
It's a fairly basic beat 'em up, but the speed tech in it is incredible. Like, I'm a big fan.
yeah, it's
Forget
just
this
got really enjoyable music
ending,
the whole
too.
way through. It's just a
Oh,
really
so
chill
good.
run.
So good. Like I said before, any Konami NES soundtrack, you just can't go wrong with it. But this one, I think, it deserves some high marks for sure.
Absolutely.
Anyway, GG on the run. Thank you again for joining mine. It was a pleasure. Hope we get to do it in person one day.
Yeah, here's hoping. We can only just keep weathering the storm, hoping that we all get through this pandemic situation.
For sure. And up next, I believe we've got Mr. Cab running some Mega Man 4, another NES classic. So we'll be seeing him shortly, following up from his amazing Chippendale run yesterday. So y'all stick around.
Yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. And yeah, a lot of really great runs coming up, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching.